So we can move on to the next section. This time, I'd like to know, how does locking make you feel? Like, how do you feel inside when you dance? What does that dance do to you? Like, and have you faced challenges? And also, has it brought to you? Like, how does, your journey in locking, what has it done for you as dancers, mentors, pioneers? Who wants to start?
I think definitely my first challenge was I was very, very shy when I was young, very, very shy. So I was like always I didn't talk much, I was very shy. So when they were like push me to dance, I think that was the first challenge. Dance in front of people, and this was the first challenge, I think. And it was not necessarily with locking, it was because at the time I was doing everything. But later on, I think I found out myself more into that style. I cannot explain why. But I think, I don't know, it just came naturally. It was more natural than other styles, maybe, I don't know. But it's hard to describe exactly why, and the more I start to learn about it, I was even more connected to it. So it became like an incredible journey.
And how do you feel when you dance?
Oh, I feel better and better, actually. I feel better and better. In the beginning, because I think the beginning it was just a challenge.
Yeah.
So I was thinking to be powerful and be good in front of my teachers. And my first teacher, actually, his name is Claes. He's the first one who really took me under his wing and teach me a lot of things first. And then after I learned from other people. But I think the first challenge was this. And the feeling always been great. But at first, in the beginning, doing the first shows, and don't mess up the choreography, things like this, that was the challenge at the beginning. Then it became more personal, I think.
For me, it's hard to say because I was taking these dance classes, right? Ballet, because my parents are dancers, like just natural dancers, because they go out. In the 70s, people that's what you did. You went out to the club, and my parents had these 4 kids, well, it's a lot, it's intense, so I'd see my mother get dressed and go to the club, like it was like, crazy. Like, I want to go to the club, But they put me in those dance classes because they recognized my talent as a dancer. I was always like freestyling in my house, but I was just free. I thought myself at 4 years old. And so when they put me in dance class, ballet, I felt so stiff, like they were saying, do this, do that, do this, and then I hated it. So I was like, I don't want to do ballet anymore, I want to do that other thing. So it was jazz, right? And it's the same thing, do this, choreography, like this, like that, hold your back, and then I put your shoulder down. And I hated being told what to do, right? I felt oppressed. So every time I went to class, I started feeling pain in my stomach. When you're a kid and you don't want to go to your game, or you have like a big stomach ache, mommy, I don't feel like you don't want to go to school. I had that thing before going to dance class, right? But that's my passion. So when I saw locking, it was like, this is what I want to do. And there was nothing, no rules. Back then it was like he said, you couldn't learn it. So you just got together and kind of show each other. And I felt the relief of, oh wow, I can express myself and I can be myself. I don't know what I'm doing. Who cares? Feels great, so I'm jumping, throwing myself everywhere, trying to do backflips, because that's what, he was saying. We didn't understand this point, we dropped. You couldn't figure it out. So that feeling was just for me, it was a lot of freedom. But then, we had this thing where it was just no information. So in 84, New York was the closest thing. So the reason why we learned it is because of New York. I think because those people from Haitian, we have a lot of Haitian, brothers and aunts and sisters in New York. So when we went to New York, they would bring back that stuff and then we would teach each other, but it was I don't know what it is, I don't know what it's called, and we just copied. So for me, that's what was the first feeling, that relief, like Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson's doing all these crazy things, and you're just like, I want to do that. And so for me, it got me out of the hood. See, that's what people don't understand is that when I saw breaking, and I made all the connections, like, oh, soul train, this, that, and I saw breaking, it gave me vision. And the vision got me out of the hood. So whatever it is, you want to teach at the Westmount Y? I'm going to teach at the Westmount Y in my jazz class. But in my jazz class, I put locking in it. You know, and the kids in Westmount were like, whoa, what is that? So, but it got me out of the hood. By then I had 2 kids. I was a teenage mother. I lived by myself, 15 years old, in the hood, 2 kids. So my drive was like, I need to get to that thing in LA, whatever was on TV, I need that. I'm gonna be that dancer that's gonna go to LA and gonna make a career. And my parents were like, you know, in 85, people were like, you're saying, I wanna be a street dancer. In 84, they're like, yeah, no. You can't even be a ballerina. At 30, it's over. So that was rhetoric for me. And I was like, I don't care, that's what I wanna do. And I just kept. So it got me out of the hood, and if it didn't get me out of Montreal in that era when there was all the gangs, Master B, Bélanger, the riots, I saw all that, I lived it. I don't know, maybe my kids would have a really bad life, and Jesse would be a criminal, and like his dad. His dad's better now. But it was my drive and my will to do this dance and to get out of the hood, to take the bus an hour and a half to go teach my class in Westmount for $10 an hour. That's how much I was getting paid back then. Just to do that. I was like, imagine the power of locking, the power of dance. It was not just locking, but it was that I'm gonna be a street dancer. But that's it. That's my story.
I identify exactly what you say, you know, except it was the opposite. You know, my challenge was being white. Going down trying to do a black dance. Yes, it was a black dance. It started in the ghettos of LA. And then I'm trying to go and do it, and I'm the intruder. So I had a lot of anger like you, but it wasn't, I was a street kid in that way. And it's interesting, you say you wanted to get out of the ghetto. I wanted to get in the ghetto. Seriously, you see people, I want to get out, and I'm like, I'll take your place. So for me, I wanted to understand that blackness. Seriously, when I watch Soul Train, I'd be like, how do you move like that? What is that? You know, so again, you can watch it on TV, you can watch all these videos, but until you're in the club and you're watching people do it in front of you, then you really understand. And you want to get that feeling, well, it's a feeling, it emanates from people. It projects through people, and when you're around it, you start to feel it. So for me, again, the challenge was being white. Second, I don't want to say I want to be black. I want to be able to dance like that. So again, that's the challenge for me. And then not being accepted. As soon as you do it, as soon as I walk in a circle, I go, there's a white guy here, whatever, you know, what's the cracker doing here, you know? But then when you do it enough and you start to get skills, people start to notice. Then all of a sudden, you put on the jacket, you got the lettering, and you're accepted. Yeah, he's a locker, he's the man. And people are like, yeah, that's my brother right here, what's up? You know, and then it started. So I would say that's like the first challenge. How it makes me feel like Gemini. I was shy. My wife is back there. When she first met me at the club, all I do is every week I would show up and stand on the wall. And she approached me one day and was like, why do you come here all the time? No, you do stand on the wall. I'm like, well, I don't know how to dance. She goes, well, come on, I'll teach you how to dance. And so she kind of got me out of my shell. But when the locking came, it changed me. It inspired me, and it set me free. And I was an angry youth, again, trying to be in the ghetto. Now I got to be ghetto, so my attitude changed. I started being angry. I'm just angry all the time. So that was my great release. It was, and I used to fight all the time too. Yeah, I was a fighter. I used to cause trouble. When the locking gave me direction. Now again, I didn't want to be on stage. I didn't want to be in these movies. Actually, when I saw breaking, when I saw the locking and breaking, I was like, that's not good locking. And everybody's freaking out. I'm just like, no, you gotta bring that camera to the club and watch these guys do it. You know, Shabadoo I've seen amazing, but in the movie he didn't do what he was doing with the locker. So something happened. So the movie didn't inspire me at all. The Janet Jackson thing was when Anthony took what we were doing in the Valley and putting in the Janet Jackson videos, like doing 2 8 counts and whatnot. You can see locking in there. If you really look for it, you will see the stuff that we do. So it started to just mix and go commercial, and everybody was doing it. So, my old locking name was Warlock, because all I would do was go to clubs and battle people. That's all I did. I lived in the street scene. Now we're talking like 1980 and up. It was a street scene. There wasn't. We went to clubs. We lived in nightclubs, but at any given time, a circle would open and you would battle. We could walk down the streets in Westwood where everybody from every area would converge, because that was the popular area. You'd be walking down the street, see guys with their jackets on, like, what? And we battle on the streets. And I know there were TV shows that would film us battling in the streets. So it was a street dance. It wasn't on stage where and no one was doing it that way. Everybody was battling. There was no money on it. It wasn't for prestige or money or fame. It was for street credibility. And like you say, I want to get those Haitians. We wanted to get every group that called themselves lockers. And I think in the 80s, because of the B-boy era, that battle mentality hit the streets of locking and popping. Now again, you know, Jazzy J was in my group, and he can pop. So we got a locker, the double threat. We got the locker and the popper. So anywhere we went, we could break to. And this is what we did. So I come from more of a street scene. It wasn't about, I was in the club too, but I love the battle thing. Get rid of my anger, show people I got ego, and yeah, I'm the best. I always wanted to be the best. That changed later on, but that's how I grew up with that. So that's my story with that.
Just on the battle, I just want to add a little question. Did you ever feel, like you said you wanted to be the best, but did you guys ever feel that way? That I'm going to be the best locker in the world? And then one day you're like, not. Did you? Yeah.
Yes, when we used to win the battles with the group and everything, yes, we thought we were the best, till we lost. And it was with Body Magic. It was Panda, who was the leader of Body Magic. I was like, damn, I'm good now. I'm taking him out. And it was, I went out, then he went out, and he started doing stuff I couldn't do. And I was just like, okay. But for me, I don't learn anything till I lose. The best lesson for me is when I lose. It's because then I learn something. I learn my weaknesses. And then I know what I need to work on for myself. So I appreciate that. I love to battle. I love to win. Everybody loves to win. But you can never be the best because everybody's different. Everybody does what they do. So how do you compare apples and oranges? They both taste great, but which tastes better? That's on your preference. So you learn that as you get older. But yes, I used to think I was the best till I lost. And like I said at the beginning, it was often. And then I didn't lose, but now I do.
Yeah, I think like Richie, I was surrounded by dancers with it was like part of the package. Like you have to compete, we have to dance and push yourself, and the battling was like playing PlayStation. To me, it was just like, okay, you versus him, and him versus 2 versus 2, or 5 versus 1. It was like just like normal games, like just to play, to push yourself and be creative, to try to find ideas on the spot. And before it was mixed, like I think the b-boy influence was very strong. So it was not like a cipher just for lockers, cipher for popper. Everything was mixed up. And for me, it was interesting because in '97, when I met Mr. Penguin, who was one of the originals, at that time I thought like I was very good. And the people used to call me Master, and already, they were like, yeah, it's okay. And I went to New York, '97, when I met Penguin, and then when he started to, I was pumped up, and I started to show him all my moves, and he was like, yeah, it's very nice, but now, can you show me locking now? And I was sweating, and then like for 5 minutes straight, I was like, that's not, no, okay. At that time, I didn't know what foundation was. I was just mixing everything. So it was a b-boy freeze with a point. Skin tuts with points, like waves and strobes, and maybe, I don't know, anything, footwork or wave, I don't know. It was a mix of things. How to define now? How to define? When I look at the videos, I look like, wow, it looks very strange. like a lot of things. But you can have some like little parmesan of locking and some elements. So it was very interesting when he started to show me actually the up lock and the wrist wall, the simple moves. And I was like, in my mind, I remember, I was like, yeah, this is my development is better. This is very simple. This, nobody's gonna clap for this. It was like, so I was not. It's later on that I understood. But yeah, I don't understand nothing actually. My English was very bad at the time. So that was an interview I did by him at the end of the class actually, and it was great. But at the time I don't know who is he, because I just listened to somebody, but I didn't see the lockers at the time. I saw the first time the lockers after that meeting actually. When Wiggles and Fable, they showed me some lockers. So I'm talking with him, so he told me a lot of things. He showed me the handshake, you know, with all the and I'm like, yeah. And he told me with English, and I pretend to understand. I don't understand nothing. So I was like, yeah, okay, the big hat, yeah. And the video also is funny because when you see when he's teaching me like the simple move, like up block, I'm already in the back trying to do like. I never follow. I was not good. I was not listening. I was like, okay. But it was very interesting times now when I think about it.
Well, for me, it was very different. The only thing I could say is that there was nobody that could lock in my generation except for those guys in the crew, but they weren't there anymore. They were in jail, right? So, you know, I'm going to clubs and I'm battling, you know, because it wasn't because I'm like, oh, I'm the best. I was like, I can knock out all these guys. Because my life was about track and field. So I was always trying to be better than the guys. When I was a kid, I was like, I'm going to run faster than you. Because my father used to like train me. He used to make me run against him. You know, makes me play soccer, football. So I was always like, I was a tomboy. So I was like, so when I first started locking, I wanted to be better than those guys in my crew. You know, so for me it was always, no, I'm going to be better than the guys. But that's why I got into breaking and everything. So every time we went to the clubs, there was only one girl locking, and they were looking at me like I was an alien. What is this dance? Because it wasn't popular anymore. You know, we're talking about the late 80s. Everybody stopped. You know, there's nothing. And Montreal clubs were very like hip. It was a hip hop. It was that, you know, everybody's having fun, but everybody's doing different styles. Poppers, one locker, me, and they would make fun of me. I'd be like, oh yeah? And then I'd dive. That's why I always do that. I'd dive and do a crazy knee drop, and they were like, oh, she killed you. You know? Because I was like, I'm going to do my biggest tricks. And so for me, it was that. It was just like, I just wanted to be better than the guys and prove that I could do it. You know? But it was, yeah, it wasn't a thing that I thought I was the best. I just wanted to be always better. And I learned my lesson because I was battling guys. Because girls didn't do that. There's no girl street dancers in my generation. So I had no girls to look up to. Girls didn't know, I don't know about you guys, was there any girls that were killers? Yeah, right? But not in Montreal. Yeah, it wasn't a thing.
Thank you, yes. We're moving on to the next section, which is the styles of locking. So, my question to you is, can you describe the different styles, flavors of locking, and also what makes them unique and what style do you prefer? Like which ones do you tend to either follow or so the different styles of locking. Who wants to start? Gemini?
Yeah, so there's many flavors. I would say flavors because it's sometimes just a different groove, different technique, or different approach. But there's many flavors I like. Actually, it's just from the originals already. But I start after. I think I see the 80s flavor first, then I saw the original rockers. So, like the Janet Jackson video, Alright, That was a big impact on me, because it was a mix of many things. I mean, the Nicholas Brothers, the Zoot Suit, the Cotton Club era, and the new Jack Swing funk. Like it was a new vibe. So I see this first, the old body rock, you mentioned, the shabadoo and breaking, all these things. So I would say the 80s flavors was Richie and LSD rockers. So this was the first one I started with. Then later on, when I went to study more, I started to see that everything was coming from the original rockers, and then you have the different flavors and styles. So it's how can you describe that? It's really how you interpret what you like, because there's very different approach. You know, it's sometimes people want to be connected with the simple moves. Other people want to develop more shapes and rhythms. So it's really it's a lot of flavors. So beside the 80s, I think the 70s, and then after different countries' interpretation. You see in Japan, for example, maybe Korea later on, and China, maybe in Asia, Europe, England, in London. There was another one from Europe, especially. That's where I think locking started to become big, was in London first. So they had their way, they have their touch. So sometimes it's the same dance, same moves, but it's just a different interpretation. Like the London guys, the way they dance locking was very classy with the suit, and they were very like sharp in their technique. So, but I think everything comes from the original lockers. You can find every element in the original group actually. Plus the extra people from Soul Train. You can see the sharpness, you can see the very getting loose, the body is very loose. You can see other people, they're more like straight, with sharp styles. The power moves, the groovy, the bounce. So to me, I see that as different flavors. So everything comes from the originals, and then you spread out. When you see in Vegas, also in Vegas there's a special flavors, some TV shows and things, so you can see it from different angles. Yeah.
I guess if you look at a tree, basically it has the roots, which again is the soul and the music and the culture, and then hence comes the trunk of the tree where you have dawn, and then you have the original lockers. And then when the tree gets branches, no branch looks the same, no branch goes the same direction, they do what they want. When you see different styles and different flavors, basically we're all connected by this, we're all connected on a tree, we're just different branches going in different directions. When the lockers locked back in the day, it was to more soul music. So the original style was based in that music. When the 80s came, music changed, it became very electro. You know, the Egyptian lover and Kraftwerk, all that music changed. We didn't lock the same anymore. When I watched the lockers, how many moves did you really see them do? Take the tricks out. How many moves did they do? So when we started to practice in the 80s, we started to create moves, not our own thing. What we did is instead of watching to 1 point or 2 points, we would do 3 points or 4 points. Their rhythm was 1 and 2. Our rhythm was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The music sped up. So we started to focus on the rhythms, not just the drums. If you look at Orange County, because they say there's an Orange County style, a Valley style, whatever, we're still lockers. They focused on the drum aspect. We focused on the rhythm aspect. And again, I would say, Anthony Thomas, Jazzy, and them, they were great dancers. Like I said, I'm not a dancer like that. I was a locker. Those guys added that. They really understood the music. And like GEMINI said, it's what you feel. If you listen to this type of music, you're going to move this type of way. If you listen to this music, you will change the way you move. So I think it depends on the music. Locking and any other dance is based in music. You know, every generation has their music, every generation moves differently. So is it different styles and different flavors? To me, it's different music and how you feel. So, I mean, you know, when people talk about the Valley style, you know, oh, that's a different way of locking. No, it's not. I'm locking, I do the same basics. We just added upon it. It's like taking building a Lego thing, and then I added more pieces to it. I created more moves for us. I didn't ask everybody else to do it. This is what we enjoy to do. Choreography and routines and stuff became what we specialized in. You didn't see the lockers do routines, did you? Small little things. You didn't see them do like a 1-minute routine. When the 80s came, it was about the show. battling other crews by doing shows against it. Like 1 week Chain Reaction would go, the next week Body Magic would go, and then Dance Connection, LSU Rockers would go. So it was not just the show, it wasn't the solos now. The Rockers focused on solos. We focused on the routines, then the solos. And I think what our misinterpretation when the Lockers were there, they had that funk. You see, we didn't have that. We're not from the ghetto. We didn't live there. We don't understand that. We didn't dance on Soul Train. They didn't let white people on Soul Train, plain and simple. So we became very technical. It wasn't until later that we were, and again, with Anthony and Jazzy, I mean, they're great dancers. Then they started to teach me and Terry, who were the white guys in the group, about having to have this movement, this soul, this feeling. Then it's like the light bulb goes off. So now we have the technical and the groove, and then we put them together. So is it a different flavor? No, we just move differently. But we wanted to add something to represent us, our personality, the way we feel. So we still lock. It's just we don't. Sometimes we look like the Lockers when we do the basic moves, and sometimes we don't. We do things that they never did. And that again was different rhythms. That's all. So it's still locking. We're still connected to the tree. We're just a different branch.
The only thing I'm going to say for myself is that for me, because it was part of my life to have that soul, like my parents were soulful, you know, like I watched Soul Train. So I never asked myself a question of like, you know, groove, that's just natural, that's what I did, you know, at home and Haitian parties. That's all you eat and you're like, you know, you're dancing. So like that's already in me. My problem came when, you know, I'm an 80s locker too. So I saw breaking it. The music was super fast. So how do you, like, it was impossible. So everything was like super stiff. So for me, locking, I started really stiff, like, because the music was super fast. It's hard to groove on a fast beat. So 80s locker, that was my struggle as the flavors, like everybody says, like, we're still doing the same thing, but the music is changing. So you have to adapt to the music, which is very hard, because everybody that's before you, like, that's not good music, but you're like, that's my music. This is what I'm doing, you know, like I love this music. So, but the thing is, I came to a point where people are like, no, if you want to be a real locker, you gotta dance on James Brown, and then they put the music, and I was like, it's so slow. Like, I was like, I don't want to dance on James, and you know, Dazzle's like, let's put James Brown, and we're in France, and I'm like, no, you know, I don't want to dance on James, because it was too slow for me. Like, I'm used to go super fast and speed. So that was my struggle, but I already had that soul, but to try to connect the two at one point, because you've been doing it for like, what, 10 years, like 80s to 90s, and in the 90s it was hammer time, so everything got even faster. So it was like, you put in very slow, make it funky. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. What? You want me to lock on that? No, I refuse. And it was my struggle. So it's the funny thing is that it's still locking, but because you have to adapt, it's hard for people, the generation before you are looking at you like, this is whack. That's not real locking. But for you, you're just like, well, that's what I learned, you know? And then later on, 20 years later, they're like, no, you gotta do this way. Oh no, you gotta go do this way. So it's that, like, you never know if you're doing it right. So anyways, but like music is what changed the style of walk, the root of locking. It's just like soul dance they were doing these soul dance, but when you look at the original lockers, they weren't really, like Don is not a soul dancer. He couldn't dance for his life, so that's why he created this dance, because he couldn't dance. See, imagine that, and everybody's looking at this crazy guy in the club going like, what is this guy doing? Everybody's dancing with their feet, and there's one guy going like, in the 70s when everybody's like this, so imagine. So that's how it was created, so that's what I'm saying. I said, you know, it takes one person that comes in and go, no, I'm going to do it different than everybody, and it creates, it's the seed that creates so many other things. So, use it.
Thank you. This actually concludes the first part of our discussion. Thank you guys. We're going to keep moving on.